listening to BottleCAST, the official podcast of BottleCapps.
Alrighty, guys, thank you for joining us on this episode of BottleCAST. Here I have with me Kraig Springer, our Executive Vice President, and he's about to give his introduction as well. Kraig, take it away.
Hey, thanks, Lupe. So, I'm the Executive Vice President of the company. I was actually employee number one, and I wasn't even looking for a job at the time. And, two of the three founders interviewed me and just had, an incredible amount of comfort with them and where the company was going. It was really interesting. And I've worked for startups before. This was going to be my third one, and just really liked it. And everything that they offered in terms of, potential was very compelling to me. So as I say, the rest was history. And here I am, many years later.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Kraig. Could you give the audience a little bit of your background? Why did BottleCapps approach you?
Yeah, I had worked in the service industries, various verticals in the service industry, and through that experience, I gained a lot of knowledge and understanding in systems, and being able to do that throughout several of the service industries and their operations. And so, I did it in a couple Fortune 50 companies, and then in the healthcare setting, I was a regional chief information officer, and then from that I went into healthcare IT consulting. So a lot of fun. Looked at processes, right? And so that's one of the reasons why I was brought in. Plus, I just had kind of one of those 360 experiences in most of the areas.
Awesome. Thank you for that background. And so, just to really start to get in there, I wanted us to hear and be reminded, really, what was your what were you tasked with the inception of BottleCapps? So they approached you, everything looked good. You came on board. What was even task number one at that point?
Well, it was, there really wasn't even just one task. There were so many. It was put into a big shoebox and kind of given to me, which was kind of funny. And there's a story about that. But the big thing was putting governance into the company, putting structure around the company, getting best practices put into the administrative side, getting the groundwork, the framework, if you will, and foundation of the company established so that everything that we did after that point would flow naturally, such as getting sales and marketing going and all those other sundry areas, support and so forth. Even your area, those groundworks were laid many, many, many years ago. But it was kind of a funny thing because, we were in a very small office, and the president of the company, we met on a Saturday, and he told me, oh, by the way, I won't be here all of next week. And he and I were the only ones in the company at that point working full time. And where are you going to be? And he said, Taiwan. And I went, great. So, that first week, I was delving into everything about the company and learning more about our app, and really just, familiarizing myself with the actual intellectual property that we had.
Gotcha. So you were in a brand new shoebox, essentially, aka the small office. The only other employee took off. I bet you had complete confidence in the company at that point.
It was fun because the president of our company is really a fun guy, and Ani, and he's just super. And really, it was my chance to be able to take something and build it, and that's what they challenged me with, and that's why I've always liked it. They've always given me the opportunity to create, and not necessarily be the yes person. It was to do what is the best for the company, our clients, and our employees and our shareholders.
Awesome, Kraig. Thank you so much for sharing that. So you kind of dove into it a little bit there, into a segue, but you mentioned challenge. So my next question is, what was one of the first big like challenges that the company had, or that you specifically had that you had to overcome?
Yeah, a lot of it was based upon after getting the structure all built and everything is okay, we have the perfect mousetrap. Now we need to sell it, right? And market it. And coexistent with that is we got to get it trademarked and copyrighted and all these things, right? So it was a lot to do all at one time. But I think the biggest first hill to climb was getting sales and marketing established and bringing on great people. And we were blessed in that area, and to this day, very blessed having great sales and marketing people. And they got it early on; they understood it, and so that was a big hill that we climbed. And we were successful. And I'll tell you what, the view on the top of the hill was great after that. And it was wonderful. And they went with their jobs, they did them, and ever since then, they're just knocking it out of the ballpark.
That's awesme to hear, and it's always just right when you push past that threshold that things just kind of align, So no, that's great to hear that it began to flourish and grow into what it is. So we've gotten to know you, we've gotten to know how you hit the floor running with BottleCAPS, and then eventually hit a wall, right? But you told us that you smashed through that. So what I want to do is actually take a break here and dive into our segment known as the back-to-back round.
Back to back like I'm on the cover of Lethal Weapon. I'm too old for this shit.
All right, Kraig, welcome to the back-to-back round. This is a speed question round where we get to ask you some speed questions and get to know a little bit about you. So I'm going to ask you questions, and you need to respond within one word. So, for instance, if I ask you, favorite food, you answer, pizza or whatever, or as few words as possible. All right, so here we go. Hometown.
St. Joseph, Missouri.
Favorite sports team, any sport.
Cowboys.
Let's go. Favorite drink.
Bourbon neat.
Ooh, all right. Do you have a pet? If so, I need their names.
No, not really. Used to, but I babysit for my daughter's dog, and he's an 85-pound American Staffordshire Bull Terrier, and his name is Petey.
All right, good old Petey. All right, greatest fear.
Snakes.
Yes. Yeah, no, really. So favorite music genre.
Oh, that's easy. Classic rock.
Let's go. Pet peeve.
The word utilize. Why not use the word use? Why make a dollar word when a quarter word will work just as well?
I know that's right.
Use.
Mental note. Somewhere you want to travel.
Actually, it's two places. So one would probably be Croatia, because it's on the Adriatic, and after having been in Italy, the Adriatic's just beautiful. So I'd like to kind of go all the way up into Croatia, and then pop over to Germany.
Awesome. No, Europe is. I love the history. I've never been. I've just seen it in books, pictures, and flicks. But I'm gonna make my way there. Might even meet you there.
All
right,
okay, we'll make a date.
Right. All right. Last one here, and probably the best one. Sum up an embarrassing moment in one word.
This is kind of hard because you'll never get the context of it, which is even more of a riot. But it would be fishing. Okay.
Fishing.
Yes, there's a whole story behind that. And it involved my mother-in-law.
The imagination is just flying at this point.
Yes.
Call it fly fishing. All right, guys, that was the back-to-back round with Kraig Springer.
Thanks. Take care.
All right, so it's playing the outro music, and then we're good to go.
All right.
Okay. Great, Kraig. Thank you for toughing it out for that back-to-back round. It's always fun to get to know you in very few words. as you are known as a man of few words. So just kidding. All right, turn the theme over a little bit. We talked about challenges, so let's celebrate a little bit, right? Can you tell me what a positive turning point in the company was? What is something that a milestone that we hit that was just a pure like celebration for the company?
Yeah, we had kept pace, on numbers. We play a numbers game, and there were certain numbers that we were trying to reach. And we got excited when we got our first 1,000 users, and then we got excited when we got our first 50,000. And I think the milestone in my mind was when we got the first 100,000. And I just thought, wow, this is catching on quickly, and it just hasn't stopped. And I think the other part of that, Lupe, was seeing how everybody was involved in making that happen. All the departments. It just didn't take one or two. It took everybody, and that's kind of what I love about this company. We work together as a family, and that's really one of our central values. We work together as a family, and we made that happen. And so for me, it was really gratifying seeing everybody else realizing that mile marker and just going, wow, this happened. And we celebrated it, and it was so much fun. And I just loved that moment. And still in my mind, that was probably one of the best things that I can remember.
I love that you chose that specific celebration, because we've had, like you mentioned, it hasn't stopped. So I do remember that as well. Way back when we were in the office, it was, I remember the countdown and suspense of it. And then I think we were in the bullpen, and everybody was, typical working day. We kind of had an idea and we were hoping for it to hit that day. And sure enough, it did. And everybody was like, hey, and you're right. All the departments kind of rushed out of their pins, and we celebrated together. So I love that memory. Thank you for sharing that.
You bet.
All right. So we talked about the past, the beginning, the past, and let's say the celebration piece. Where do you see BottleCAPS in the next 2 to 3 years? Let's talk about the future a bit.
Yeah, so my mind kind of reverts back to something here, is that, I was jokingly called Dad at one point in the company, and it kind of caught on. And I'm one of the older people in the company, so there was that. And I think that was part of it. But, it's been really amazing seeing how our people have grown over these last couple of years. So where I see our company going is both internal and external. From the internal side, I see all of our employees, all of our BottleCAPS family, continuing to grow, because that's the nature of this business. And each and every single person has become much more polished and really savvy in the business. But as a company, that's reflected by where we've made huge achievements. So, my expectation of where the company is going to be in 2 or 3 years is it will be the preeminent provider of beverage alcohol applications within the 3 tiers of the system, and not just retail liquor. We've strived really hard over the last couple of years to be able to do that. I think the persistency has paid off and has really positioned us as being one of the thought leaders, if you will, as to where e-commerce in general in this market is to go, right? Because so many people didn't even know what e-commerce really was 2 or 3 years ago. And we've kind of been the author of that and have been inking that letter for the last couple of years. That helps us be not only the preeminent thought leaders, but really the industry specialists and knowledge experts in this area. One thing that we pride ourselves on as a company is we've all come from different walks of life. We are so inclusive in what we've done, and that's been out of design, because we wanted expertise from everybody from all walks of life. So we have this incredible amount of brain trust on how to do things, not just in the space that we're in, but in business in general. What are the best things to do? And it's been really gratifying that our clients come to us and say, hey, what should we do in this kind of situation? It doesn't pertain to the services I get from you guys, but, have you ever run across this? And so that's been very gratifying because they understand that, our long-term relationship with them means more than just them paying us for the services, right? It's really, truly a family. So I think that perception is only going to become more and more established.
No, I love that answer. And I have in my seat within multimedia seen that. I don't work with our retailers day to day, but even through our weekly meetings and through the updates on how our retail partners are doing, I've seen that growth. So it's absolutely en route to being, a full-fledged community of just successful retail partners. And I love the stories behind that too. They sign on and we get them set up, and then from there, they hit their milestones, and then from there we always are constantly looking to enhance our offerings, and when we roll those out, we begin to see new heights. So yeah, I'm very excited for what our team is capable of in the coming years.
That's right.
All right, Kraig. Well, thank you so much for your time. Right now is the time for a shameless plug. So for those listening in, what words of advice, guidance, if they're on the fence, where can they find us? So take it away.
If you want to deal with a company that has quality, integrity, and expertise, not only in its products and services, but in the people that stand behind those, you should become a BottleCAPS family member. I invite anybody who is contemplating an app or a website to please call us, because we will be in this with you. It is a long-term relationship, and we want you to be part of our BottleCAPS family. But what's more important than being successful is to be able to do it and do it consistently. And we will make you consistent winners in your marketplace.
All righty, guys, you heard it from Kraig Springer, our executive vice president himself. Check us out at BottleCAPS.com and follow us on social at BottleCAPS1. But thank you, Kraig, so much for your time. I appreciate it. And guys, catch us on the next episode of BottleCAST.
Take care.
Thanks for listening to BottleCast, the official podcast of BottleCAPS. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Cheers.